G'day chaps, welcome back again. It's been a month, hasn't it? I have been gallivanting. I've been all over, and I'll tell you about my trip while we play. But first, what we're going to do, we're going to get into exploring this new region. So we're going to choose Stalker because that's the only one where you can choose the region, and I want to explore Broken Railroad with you. So I have never ever looked at this region before at all, and actually it's kind of interesting because I just played for about 2 minutes, and this is the map of the actual place, so they're actually revealing what it looks like right up front. So I'm going to get let's get a general gist of what it is. So you have a railroad going right the way through. To the south it's all mountains, so there must be some caves around there, and then the whole region is all to the north of this railroad. But I really have no idea what is where. I've not looked at any maps online or anything, so I just want to get back into the long dark survival mode. I want to do that with you. Let's choose Will. May as well activate this. And let's go exploring new region. So, in terms of Wintermute, I did have a play while I was in the States. I played through the first episode, I got into the second episode, and then it got to the point where I was supposed to start collecting wood. And I just lost interest, to be honest, because I realised that the whole beginning of story mode is just training wheels for new players. So, yeah, I know how to hunt, I know how to play. I'm not particularly interested in that. I suppose I will have to play it through, just so that I can get into the later episodes, because I guess they must be locked. But didn't really grab me, it wasn't particularly interesting, to be honest. It was interesting, just, you know, the animations and things like that. I did enjoy it, I thought it was quite well done. I thought the voice acting was very good, animation was good, all of that good stuff. But yeah, the actual gameplay itself, I mean, it was pretty clear that it wasn't... Oops, I forgot to look in the glove box. It wasn't for players like myself, really. It was really sort of lending itself towards new players. So I'm back into the real Long Dark, for me anyway, which is obviously survival mode. And here we go, let's explore together. Do tell me if I am completely wrong about story mode. Do tell me your thoughts on it. Like I said, I've not really tried to play it right the way through. I did lose interest once I realised it was for new players. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I do need to go back. Tell me if there is any challenge to it. But yeah, for me, it kind of feels like some of the feats, they're kind of chores that you need to go through just to get the achievement. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because I am genuinely interested in what you think. Because I've really not looked into what other people are making of story mode yet. I've just been out of gaming for a while. It was a massive trip. So I went from LA, good condition too. I went from LA, I drove up to Yosemite. From there I camped in the mountains of Yosemite for a couple of nights because the ocean road was actually closed. I was planning to go up the ocean road, you know, Big Sur, all of that stuff, and see the ocean, which is a really famous drive, but the whole thing was closed because they've had landslides in California, so it wasn't possible to do that. So I drove up to Yosemite, which is in kind of like the northeast of California instead. 7-hour drive, which ended up taking even longer. So I was there for a couple of days, and then over to San Francisco. Stayed in San Francisco for 3 nights, and then did the massive drive. And this is me by myself still at this point. Did the really big drive, which was from San Francisco straight through the Nevada desert. I did that in 1 day, which was massive, huge drive. I drove like 12 hours in 1 day. Drove right the way through Nevada, got as far as Utah. I can see wolves up ahead, okay. Got as far as Utah, slept, then drove through the Utah mountains, which is just amazing. I mean, it's like another planet. Seriously, it looks like Mars or something. And then as you come through the Utah mountains, as it becomes green, you hit Colorado. And then as you hit Colorado, the mountains become greener. And yeah, then you're into the sort of like the good country, I think. Utah people seemed a bit mental. There was one town I was planning to stop at, and then, you know, as you're entering the town, it said, you know, welcome to this town, and there was a sign, here are, you know, all of 12 churches we have in this tiny little town. I was like, no, I'm going to keep on going. Oh shit, I can hear something. Uh-oh. I can hear a bear. Hey, hello, fuck. That's a bit close for comfort. I'm gonna back off and stay crouched. Oh, fuck, he's coming right at me. Run. Oh god, he's charging me. No, he's not. Okay. Alright, well we found where bear number 1 lives anyway. So we're not going to sleep in there. We're not going to warm up in there. I thought we'd go in that cave and warm up, but nope. Yeah, so I kept on going through the mountains, through the Colorado mountains, which are just stunning, outstanding. Kept on going right the way through to Boulder, Denver, which are pretty close to each other. They're within like half an hour of each other. Stayed in Boulder for 3 nights. Let's pick up some of this. Let's get some of this old man's bird. That deer is going to get taken down. Yep. There he goes. We have... Oh, actually. Yes. We have a flare, so we could chase off that wolf, but we have nothing to actually harvest that deer meat with, so I'm not going to bother with that. Here we found our first cave. Let's get a fire started. We'll use this as our temporary warm-up spot. Let's get some water going, and then we'll check that hunting cabin. So let's get a fire going. Cattails. We have accelerant, I'll use that. We need to warm up.
Looks like it worked.
Okay, let's see if that warms us up. Yeah, we're warm enough. Okay. So stayed in Boulder, which is a lovely little university town. Really enjoyed it. Let's just get the water going. Yeah. Stayed in Boulder 3 nights, and then stayed in Denver like a week, just over a week. Went hiking in the Rockies. Yeah, and really got into the cannabis industry too. It's different over there. It's not a thing anymore. It is, number 1, it's big business, and number 2, it's not a big deal anymore, which is very cool. Visited some cannabis superstores, and I can talk about it because it was legal. Yeah, and ended up also meeting some producers of cannabis products because I'm interested in getting into the industry myself as it becomes more legal worldwide and the prohibition ends. Did you know, by the way, why cannabis became illegal in the first place? It's a sad story. It used to be legal. Okay, it's the state's fault. It's America's fault, basically. It used to be legal, pretty much worldwide. And then the white racists in America noticed that the blacks and Hispanics were using marijuana and decided that this was corrupting their lovely white children, and so banned it on that basis. So the whole prohibition thing with cannabis has a rather disgusting racist history to it, unfortunately, and then the rest of the world just followed the US without really thinking for themselves. And that was, what, 70 years ago? People have been paying for it ever since. So, kinda sad. But at least it's ending now. It's being recognised as highly beneficial for a lot of people. And if you look on the net, even pets, I found out that a lot of animals have problems with either stress or seizures. THC, which is the thing that gets you... Oh shit, hello there. The safest thing to do is go here. Hey. I'll put this out. Okay, you ran away. That was interesting. So I found out for animals, for dogs, THC, which is the thing that gets you high, is actually dangerous for dogs. And it can... I read it can actually be potentially life-threatening. But there's another component to cannabis called CBD. So you get that in oil, CBD tinctures, salves, things like that. So this is a cannabis product, but it doesn't have the THC in it, so you don't get high on it. And that is highly beneficial for humans and animals alike. So, what is that? Huh, never seen that before. Huh, interesting. Don't know what that's about. Kian. Oh, this is cool. Huh. Nice. Nice. Oh, I hope there's a place to sleep up here, because this would be a great little home. Let's have a look. I need to get some charcoal too, I forgot. I need to start mapping this area. Gives us a really good overview here too. Very cool. Also tell me in the comments if there have been any other major changes to the other regions, because I'm interested in going and checking those out for sure. I would love to see what they've done with survival mode, with the maps while I've been away. As I said, I've not really been into gaming. I mean, I've been playing a little bit of... I played a very good game called Northgard, which is kind of like a settler type game, if you know Settlers from back in the day. It's that kind of game. You set up your base, so you're a group of Vikings. Ah, here we go. Here's home. So we've got meat up there. Alright, let's go here. The sun's going down, so this will be where we'll sleep. Got rabbits too. Cool. And we've got this area down there for, I guess, cattails. There's another can down there. Yeah, so let me know if there's any other changes to the maps that I should go check out. Also tell me what these cans are about. I really have no idea whatsoever. But I'm curious. So let's get some feathers. With the channel, I'll be back to doing regular content again. Sorry for being away, but I can't remember who mentioned it, but you were right. It was good to just take a break from trying to produce content. I ended up being way busier than I thought I was going to be. I was basically living out of a car for a month, so I was either sleeping in a tent, or sleeping in a cheap motel, or sleeping on a friend's floor, or... It really was a proper travelling trip. I saw a lot of the west coast of the US. I'm glad I don't live there. I'm really glad I don't live there. I don't think it's a happy society. And I guess a lot of you guys are Americans. The stats tell me quite a few of you are in America. And I'm talking, yeah, it depends where you are. I loved Colorado. I thought people in Colorado were fantastic. Denver, Boulder. I was down in Colorado Springs for a day. But in general, people seemed very, very cool. Really liked people in Colorado. I hated Los Angeles. It's incredibly ugly. Number one. I'm not going to bother collecting that. We need to find out where we're going to live first. Let's just try and survive the night. We may not make it because we may not have enough wood. We don't really have much wood at all. Which is going to make things tricky. We really need shelter. Alright. So while we have some time, I'll try and collect what I can. Yeah, so Los Angeles was, I found really ugly. The traffic, I cannot believe how bad the traffic was. I mean, I've been in London, driven in London, but wow, I've never sat in traffic that doesn't move on an 8-lane freeway before. It was just murder, and it just does not move. And it was that kind of soul-destroying traffic because there's no other way to get around in LA. So yeah, would not want to live in that city. Did not like it at all. San Francisco was better, but I still wouldn't want to live there either. Firstly, it's heinously expensive, unbelievably expensive. And then, yeah, it was kind of dirty. It really was quite dirty. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. Because, I mean, I've heard great things about San Francisco. And the people seem cool, but the homeless, man, it's just sad. I mean, the way... I've never seen people in a developed country just so utterly destitute and or mentally ill before. So, you know, I was on the transport system in San Francisco. It's called BART, Bay Area something transport, and there was a homeless guy who came up. He said, "Do you have any change?" So I gave him some change, and he started talking to me, and he was full on crazy, as in, yeah, incapable of looking after himself, kind of crazy. And it's just sad. It's just not right. There's nothing. You can't defend that. There's no way to defend chucking mentally ill people onto the streets and having them fend for themselves. It's just not right. And I don't think there's any other developed country in the world that would let that happen. So I thought that was pretty sad. Okay. So temperature's not too bad, so I'm going to see if we can get away with sleeping a little bit before we start our fire, because fuel is going to be the biggest problem here. If we're going to make it through the night while staying warm, it's going to be fuel that does it for us. Let's see. We warmed up? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so it's really not that bad in here. So it's minus 2 degrees, right? So it's getting colder. Time to start a fire. And we'll cook up that. It's going to take a while starting this fire. And then we'll cook up that meat. We'll sleep the night. And then we'll go exploring again. Yeah. But the main news is I'm back on the channel. I'm going to fit in what videos I can. I'm just going to keep it loose and simple with the channel. You know, as I've talked about before, I'm never going to try and make a YouTube a career, but I really do enjoy it. This is pretty much my main hobby, apart from going to the gym and exercising. Apart from that, it's all about business.
Well, that didn't work.
I've got a company on the side, and very soon I'll be able to talk about that, because we nearly have our visa. So we're applying for residency in this country, and once that gets approved, I'm not tied to my company anymore, and I'll be able to talk about what I really do. And then yeah, I'm interested in getting into the cannabis industry as it becomes deregulated. So I've got a couple of projects on the side, and I'll be very much putting time into those. But soon enough I'll be able to actually talk about them and tell you what's going on, and be a bit more open with my life outside of my day job. Because the situation as it stands is that to get residency in this country, you need to be employed, you need to be sponsored by the company. And let's say worst case scenario, if the company fired me, then everything I've worked towards for the last 6 or 7 years just goes to shit, basically. So it's better to err on the side of caution. Right, so 6 hours on that. I'm going to sleep. Let's do 6 hours. That should get us pretty good. I'll pause this episode here. I just wanted to say hello, and I'm back, and I missed you guys, and talk to me in the comments, because the main reason I do this is to be honest, the interaction nowadays. Just the satisfaction from you guys telling me you're enjoying this. So I'll pause it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.